Hey, little
Thank you,
megaphone.
ma'am. I appreciate it. I appreciate the.
Can you sign in, Ms. Jody?
Yes.
No. Want me to go get this brown?
Yeah. Can you put in text just PLC meeting in my class?
Of course I can.
You got, you need
Is this for
computer
the whole minutes?
It's Wednesday PLC. You need your computer.
Okay. Anything else?
You got your computer?
Just the computer?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me show you how to get your scores.
Scores for?
NWA, just gonna go over scores. And
Oh.
our plan. This is our regular PLC on Wednesdays. Yes. So y'all sign in, see the agenda.
So when there's holidays,
Mm-hmm.
the ancillary thing doesn't count the days.
That we missed.
Okay.
So today should be like I was out Thursday, day 4.
Day 8, yes.
Oh, is day 8 or
Huh? Yeah, I guess so.
That's, I guess they got a lot of that today, cause they were pretty snappy to go ahead. Oh, yes, sitting.
Thank you, Ms.
Luxury.
Winters, for the candy. You're awesome. How did you know we needed it?
Because I
needed it? Thank you so much.
I'm gonna get started because I don't want to waste time. So normally Ms. Carrier would have had this data meeting. But I'm gonna go ahead and just go over the data. I don't have you all's data, but I guess you can follow along with us in regards to what we're gonna be looking for. But this is a needs assessment type meeting or PLC, just to determine where our kids are and where we need for them to be. That's why I have those little rocket ships going around on the hallway. It's going to show where they are now, and then what our target is for MOY and for the EOY as well. And then coming up with a plan so we can get our kids to where they need to be, or at least show some sort of growth. So, what is a needs assessment? A needs assessment is essential in identifying our strengths and our weaknesses so we can improve our fifth grade or improve our learning environments for our fifth graders to be successful in math, reading, and science. So we're gonna look at the BOY to determine what form of instructions and instructional strategies we need to ensure that we are targeting those students for support. So the purpose of this PLC/needs assessment is to determine those specific educational needs of our students that can allow us to create those strategies, to promote our data-driven decision, and to allocate those areas for those most significant potential for growth. And I'm gonna show you some statistics on students from the last 2 years. I didn't have last year's data as far as the paper report. Definitely don't have data from as far as our demographics. I really would love to know how many students we have that are ESL versus our non-ESL. I just feel like the numbers that I've seen from research doesn't match what I see in the class. 'Cause especially in Ms. Moffitt's homeroom, half of her class don't speak English. So it would be good if we can just have a hands-on number as to how many kids there that does not speak English. What about you all? Do y'all have some problem? No, because you have.
They all speak English, yeah.
Oh, we have ESL though, so those are the students that are scoring low,
Oh, okay.
lower.
Okay.
But it's not, we just need to give them time. It's not because they don't understand the content, they just need more time. Probably they need more scaffold from us.
But you know, we come from, this is the first year where we had students not speak the language.
Okay.
So just to kind of be a part of the conversation, I mean, they should be testing. I'm surprised they're not testing in Spanish. If last year, did they test in Spanish? Like, I would be wondering if you could test some of them in Spanish. I know it's not just Spanish, but
I don't know how they did it last year,
because that's what.
but don't they have to have some sort of, I'm gonna say documentation to where they can take those tests in Spanish?
I feel like if they're taking TELPAS or
That's true.
they should have that.
Those
Like-
accommodations, but I don't think ours is basically, more, they're not pass related. They're just more of the outside of Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot. So I just wish I had some numbers.
To separate it from what you're actually showing in class and.
Yeah, because it's part of our data. Did y'all look, when y'all,
I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry, really, I'm sorry.
I remember. Thank you.
when y'all had a chance, Mr. Jackson, to say, we'll look at your data today, so you can see. Yes. I mean, if you don't want to, you can just go in the other room and listen to us. But yes, it is, I did put on there, it was being recorded.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so we're gonna look at the data because when I looked at it, our kids who do not speak English, their scores really brought our numbers down. So, and if half of our class are non-English speakers, it's like how can we reach them? And I wish, well, I'm here today, hopefully you all can give some insight on how to reach those kids. So this is what the BOY looks for, what we're looking at for the BOY. And why it's important for us to look at the BOY, because it's a baseline for us evaluating the student performance. And it's crucial for us to align our educational goals with individual student needs and drive impactful teaching. I would tell y'all, data is important for us to look at when it comes to growth. We may not get them to where they need to be, but if we show 2 to 3 points of them growing, especially to the MOI, that's good, especially for our kids who don't speak English. If they show some growth, that's good. We want to at least show something. We don't want them to fall below where they were at the beginning of the year. So that's why the BOY is a baseline. And this is from this year. This is my homeroom, which is the lowest. So today we're going to look at math, reading, and science. I don't have the science.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that just means you've got a lot of space for growth. Like, you're gonna.
It looks good. It sounds good, Miss Hernandez. That's a lot
Hey,
of work.
you know, it's the only up is from
I
there.
get it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Do you know the science MOY goal?
No, off the top of my head.
It should be posted on the door, right?
It's not. It's just reading and math posted on the board. Science. So I'm gonna have to ask Ms. B so we can see what the science is. But kids normally in 5th grade do good in science. Sometimes it outweighs math and reading. All right, so here are our students. This is from 2023. So we during that year they had 896 students here. 148 students were enrolled in grade 5, and there was an even exchange of 38% between African Americans and Hispanic students. The Asian and white people population was just below 100 students, and when I say Asians, that's your kids from like Afghanistan, those type of kids. They didn't have them separated listed on the paper, they had them listed under Asians. Asians were at 99 and there were 78 white kids. And so there are actually 665 economically disadvantaged students. This was 2 years ago. I can only imagine it's probably has doubled that number in the last 2 years. So the data collection for our needs assessment, or for us to determine how should we move forward. I got this information from the TAPER. Y'all familiar with the TAPER report? So the TAPER report is basically like the school accountability report. It shows all of the scores with STAR. It shows demographics. It shows our GT kids. It shows how many teachers are here, what teachers are getting paid. It's just a very important report that you all should pull up and just look at your school so you can know exactly what you're getting into. When I applied for iSchool, that's the first thing I look at was their type of report to determine, what demographics are going to be here. But it's very important that you look at that, and it's available for anybody to see. And then I looked at some of the STAR scores, and of course, the 4-way BOY assessments. I did look at everybody's scores on this side.
Miss
I would love to see you all.
I'm sorry. What is the school's rating?
This was 2 years ago. I don't know what it is this year.
Like on the reviews.
No,
It's not
no,
good.
not the reviews. It's accountability.
But it's
What is
better
it?
than.
Well, it is an F. I think I had it on there.
An F?
Let me see. I have it on here.
59.
Yes, yeah, it is an F.
For
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, was it?
I think
2
it's
years
good.
ago it was not an F.
That's what it had. When I,
2 years ago it was a B.
when I well, for the 22-23 school year, it was, when I researched it, was an F for that
It was
last
an
year.
F. 2 years ago it was a B. I think it's like an 84. Because when I applied for the job here, it was an 83, 84. And I applied 2 years ago.
Do you know what the drop was? What was
Fourth
it
grade
the,
math, I know was a big
was last year
drop.
was the first time they took it online, right? Was the first year? It was 2
No.
years, no, it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what the change was?
I have the paper.
I know that it was a big drop in fourth grade math. I know it was a drop there, but
Okay. Well, this was the latest paper
we gotta
report.
do something about it.
As you can see, proficiency rates, 39% of fifth graders score at or above the proficiency level, which is not good numbers in STAR reading, while 38% achieved this in the STAR math. The district and state averages were around 49% for reading and 56% in math, so you see how far below we are. But again, this was 2 years ago, this was the latest. And so we gave them an accountability rating of an F. So, what are some strengths and improvements? The first thing we have to do is take our DOL and the LSSA trackers seriously. So, in order for us to show up or to be accountable, we have to collect that data. And what I did was, I think I sent everybody a copy of the LSSA and DOL tracker. And so I went ahead, I just need somebody to help me with averages for the LSSA. I don't know how to do it in Excel, I'm not the best. So what I did was, I went ahead and just add all of our students' names. And to make it easier, you just go in here. What am I doing? Alright, so you go in here and you just put in their averages every day. I mean, their daily DOL grade, whatever it is, and they'll give your average all the way down.
I'll just put the DOLs there.
Yes, and then you come over, you do the LSSA, the same thing here, and they'll give you your average there. And so that's just collecting that data. That's important for you to do. Yes. So because I'm not Excel friendly at all, I'll just need some help on how to create those graphs and how to create those trends. But this is very helpful. I think you all still have access to it because I've already populated all of our students' names. I don't have your students' names, but I know you guys have your own system.
Can you please share the
The template.
template, please?
Mhm, I can do that, sure.
Thank you.
How are you checking the LSSA? LSSA?
Well, they come back to me check.
Yeah, when they come back from the team center, like I have.
Are they doing that with you all?
No, most days.
Have you checked your box? Are they put them in the boxes?
That's
I think
what mine
fifth grade, you wanted yours in the box. I think y'all wanted y'all's in y'all's box, right?
I don't
No,
think we
we
made
said
a
we didn't want
consensus. Yeah, we said we did not want it.
We wanted them to hand them to us.
Oh, I wonder if they got the mess hallway.
Oh.
Cause they haven't had, mine's still running the
Mr.
box.
Hernandez, I have yours right here for today.
So I'll remind them,
Oh,
I'll remind them to do that.
Yeah.
Because I think you said fourth grade was
Yeah.
doing it, so they
But I
might
think
as well.
y'all wanted them handed to you.
Yeah, 'cause
so I
everybody
told
don't
y'all
check
we
their
gotta make
box.
sure we hand them to you guys.
So if we keep up with our DOLs and the tracker, again, we can see those trends. And also sometimes our do nows can help us with showing us those trends as well. So we just want things to be structured when it comes to strengths and improvement. And I'm also looking for feedback from you all in regards to that. All right, so now it's time for us to look at the math. This is math part. So for math performance, this is the section that I looked at that was looking at their strengths and shortcomings based on the BOY, and some insights that were gained from this data were critical for informing instructional strategies moving forward. So for math, as you can see, our average was about 183. This is a 189. 501, 501, who's that? Who's 501? You, Mr. Jackson. I'm 504.
I'm 502.
Who's 501? You are.
No, Mr. Jackson is,
Three something.
No,
yeah,
Ms.
yeah,
Lee
Mr.
is
Jackson,
503.
yeah,
Oh,
Mr.
you're
Jackson,
not
then me, then
503.
Saints, and then
Okay,
you.
so Mr. Jackson class had the highest, his average was 189. And then you had Miss Saint's class at 187, and then my class and Miss Moffitt's came in third.
These are DOLs?
No, this is from the math
NWA.
scores. This is math scores. So this is the average math scores for math from BOY. So again, the goal for math is for MOY is what?
215.
Yeah.
Really?
Is that what you put up there?
Oh, okay. So we got a lot of work to do. You just as long as they grow, and then I'll show you how to create data folders because each kid needs to have their own data folder and a worksheet that shows their scores, what their goals should be. Give them like a 5-point, 10-point row.
I think we did what,
And I don't
5%?
even know if you could have the time to have the data conferences with students, maybe on an extended day during the Friday.
We can do an
during the
extended
weekends,
day. Yes.
To do those data conferences with the students.
Yeah, because it's important that they see that as
Uh-huh.
well. Because they're fifth graders. They need to know what it is.
I have a question before we move on. This data, I know there are some new students, I know this always been a diverse school, but, the students that we have now, in fifth grade, were they here for fourth grade, the ones like?
I can show you on map. It'll show you if they were here last year. Because it'll show you fall 23 compared to fall 24.
Cause if they're new students, they wouldn't have that data in there, right? Okay,
Correct.
okay, that's okay, that answers my question.
I thought it was 504. Okay. All right, so areas for improvement. So when I look at math, it shows that the number of students, they struggle with computations and algebraic relationships, geometry and measurement, whatever, everything, except for one category. And then it also shows that they had some challenges and word problems, and students tend to fall in those areas to correctly interpret and solve them. Ms. Hernandez, what do you say about your group?
They're pretty wide ranging. Some are ready for 6, some are having a hard time with multiplication facts. So, but the data shows that they are,
Okay.
most of them are pretty high.
Okay. These are some recommendations, Ms. Moffitt, is that to come up with targeted interventions that can be scaffolded. I know it's a little hard to have small groups, we definitely can have small groups, but how can we scaffold and implement those strategies into the NES protocol? So it's just something that if you can come up with and just let us know how we can help you in other grades or in other classes to enforce those strategies as well. Yes.
And I was gonna say, even, I know we know what the at-bats is, right? But when it comes to at-bat with students during the 45-minute, either one, the 45-minute or the 35, just doing those problems, like the same problem and maybe just changing some of the numbers, just to see if they can problem solve using the strategies you just taught them. So that's considered at-bat.
And we had that conversation yesterday,
I
right?
do that with Do Now to see if they will practice those strategies. I try to do that. I don't like to mirror a question
Yeah,
because they just copy it, but I try to do that.
right, yeah.
So they can see if they're gonna do the steps on their own without me even saying that. You're just walking through the door. Let me see if you're gonna do those steps.
Okay, good. Okay, so reading. In this part of the slide, we're gonna see what students perform based again on the BOY data, their current strengths and areas that require improvement. So for reading, we were averaging about 180-ish. So as you can see, 501 of that class, they on track. They had one of the highest scores, 187, which was their average. It says that based on our BOY data, it reveals that 19% of our students achieve proficiency in understanding multiple genres. And the highest Lexile scores, y'all familiar with what a Lexile is? A Lexile is basically their reading, what grade they're able to read on. Our average was between 860 and 1105. So the highest, not average, the highest one was reading between 6th and the 10th grade level. Our kids are on a 2nd to 3rd grade level reading in this grade.
Yes, okay. I hate to interrupt, but I just want to give this excellent presentation. Ms. Winters, thank you for all your information. But let me throw this in, guys. Principal Kratos is getting a lot of heat about the situation with that child being left outside. He needs every person in here to write a statement. He's taking the heat. He has your back, but they own him about this. So he's gonna need a statement emailed to him from every person in this room. I did not want to interrupt this fabulous presentation, but this is serious. So if those of you who were out there who actually witnessed and know what you know, please send